Predators. Let's talk about the real subject of predators taking our livestock from our homestead. Some of the predators that we have here on our farm that we've seen and we know for a fact are an issue are coyotes, hawks, owls, skunks, raccoons. Some of our neighbors have reported bobcats and ringtail cats as well. A few years ago, we actually caught a hawk in this coop right here. That was one of the first experiences we've had up close with hawks. Back behind the shed is this pathway. It goes toward the middle part of the property. This has been a common access path for the coyotes in the past. We've done our best to monitor this pathway and to block all the entry points along the fence that are easy access for the coyotes. We do our best to keep the ducks and the chickens more up around the house. Hopefully the predators will be a little more timid to come that close. The ducks like to come back here behind the shed. Apparently there's a broader range of forage available for them, berries dropping on the ground and bugs in the grass that aren't as available up near the house. Dawn and dusk are considered prime times for predator attack. So we open the doors a little later in the morning and we encourage them to go to bed a little earlier, hopefully to reduce the risk in those hours. When we let the birds in at nighttime, we like to identify that we have each one. My daughter is very good at recognizing all of the birds and she knows them by name. I can only identify them as a group, so I count them to know that we have enough in each coop at nighttime. The other night when I was taking care of the beehives, I found 2 piles of duck feathers. Well, those were the 2 ducks that had come missing. After an attack, another method we have used to help prevent that animal from coming back for another free and easy meal is to keep the animals locked up for 2 to 3 days. The intention is to disrupt the meal pattern of that predator. One of the methods that we've used to keep coyotes a little better under control is that whenever we find an opening in the fence, we'll bring back materials like this is scrap chicken wire and scrap cattle panel, and we just make sure that the hole, because there was a hole down here, we just make sure that hole was blocked. We make them find a new way in. Once they establish an easy entry and exit point, they just keep coming back. So if we block those points, it takes a few days for them to figure something else out. Now you've seen me talk in other videos about the double fence along the backside of the goat run. That was done with the intention to help provide a barrier and keep the coyotes from jumping into the goat run and taking them as an easy meal. Using chicken tractors on the farm was going to be one of our methods that we were going to employ full time, and that was to keep chickens and ducks in tractors and move them around the farms. That would completely eliminate the possibility of aerial attacks, hawks and owls getting to them. That idea may still work out in the future, but it's not going to work with these designs. In order to use the chicken tractors full time, I'm going to have to find something that is more accessible and easier to move around. These designs have been too clunky and too heavy. So rather than using them as a full-time protection for our animals, we'll just keep using them as breeder pens. Now I have no idea if this really works, but somebody told us that if you hang these CDs in the trees and on the fences around the property, it'll help distract the hawks and the owls so they won't want to swoop in and take your ducks and chickens from your farm. Some people have said that if you have a horse on the property or a donkey, that will keep coyotes away. I don't know if that's true, and that's not why we got a horse. We're hoping that the presence of having the horse, Maggie Grace, on the farm will help keep the coyotes away as much as possible. Small traps like this can be a great way to capture and identify small predators that can get into your chicken coops as well. We have successfully used this to take care of a skunk that was giving us a problem for a short time. You'll notice that none of the methods that I mentioned and how we protect our livestock or control predators included killing the predators. I do have guns on the property and I love shooting. For me, shooting is mostly a sport. I don't want to make killing predators my main solution for protecting my livestock. Friends and neighbors have it much worse than we do. Some people deal with the coyotes on a large scale. Some friends of ours reported that there was a pack of 22 coyotes that came through their farm and decimated their livestock. We don't have it that bad here, and we are very thankful for that. We know that on any farm where you keep any livestock, predators are a real challenge. Would you share with me in the comments below what type of predators you deal with on what scale and what method you use to control them. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Daddy Curbs farm. It's always a pleasure to share my farm with you. If you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button. YouTube will send you an email every time I update my content. I'd like to give a special thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much for investing in me so that I can continue to share this message. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that I have something good going on here. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.